Sally, with all fall sports being postponed to the second semester, has the NMAA decided where cross country will start on the new updated athletic calendar, and why is it a shortened season?
You know, it's shortened for it's 5 weeks long. When I met with the coaches, what they were concerned about is the back-to-back cross-country track and field seasons. And so what they were asking is, can we have a shortened cross-country season so the kids can maybe get a little bit of a 2-3 week break and then participate in track and field. So cross-country will start on February 15th, but it will end 5 weeks later. So the third week in March is when we will have the state cross-country meet.
What about volleyball? When is it scheduled on the athletic calendar?
Volleyball was difficult. You know, we had a lot of things that we had to look at, and the number one thing is our multi-sport athletes. We want to make sure that all kids are still able to play the 3 seasons if they're a 3-seasoned athlete. And so we had basketball in there, and then we have track and field and softball. And so where do you put volleyball? So volleyball, we have shortened it by 1 week, and we are starting on March 1st, and we will end on May 1st. The only overlap that you will see in volleyball is if somebody makes the playoff. So if a school makes the playoffs, you might have 1 week or 2 week overlap with volleyball. But if they don't make the playoffs, and remember, JP, it's 8 teams only. So there's a lot of teams that will not make the playoffs. Then there will not be an overlap with basketball, volleyball.
There were also some changes to the Volleyball State Championships with the quarterfinals on a Monday, semifinals scheduled for Wednesday and Thursday, finals on Friday and Saturday. Why is it designed that way?
You know, I just had said about we went from a 10-week season to a 9-week season. And the reason we did that is because we wanted to make sure that our volleyball players had a solid spring season. You know, JP, putting all this calendar together is tough back to back. And if we had one less week, we could get those athletes that are playing softball or running track out sooner. So the one less week, what that did is instead of having our quarterfinals the weekend before at home sites, we will now have our quarterfinals on Monday at home sites. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, we will have the semifinals, and Friday and Saturday, the finals. This will allow our teams, once again, to not spend the night. They can go play the volleyball game and come home, and then they can go play the semifinals and the finals.
You added 2 weeks to the spring golf schedule. Why?
Well, we missed about 5 weeks of golf. You know, when the governor's orders would not allow us to compete in fall golf, we wanted to make sure that our golfers had those weeks back. And so 2 weeks just prior to when they were going to start normally allows them to have 2 more events. Still the same limitation, but it gives them a little bit more leeway when it comes to the scheduling.
When can spirit competitions begin?
January 16th. And our first one actually that we have scheduled is at Goddard. But I just had a spirit clinic, and as I told the spirit world, we don't know what it's going to look like. Spirit competitions right now, they're still high risk, so they're really not putting routines together. They cannot stunt. They have to social distance. So basically, it's to be determined. We are scheduled for January 16th, but we are willing and ready to move and shift spirit if we need to.
Lastly, because fall sports are postponed to the second semester, we've seen some students leave to compete elsewhere. What do you tell the student athletes who remain in the state with the chance to compete this spring?
You know, JP, I know it's hard. I mean, it's gut-wrenching to see what these kids are going to right now, and I've used that word, and I've used the word sad. We have some student athletes that are leaving the state, but we have others where New Mexico is home, and they want to continue their education and their sports in New Mexico. And for those students, all I want to say is be positive. It doesn't do any good to just be down about the situation. It is what it is. COVID-19 is here. Our numbers are escalating. But if we stay positive and just focus in on getting ready for the season or focus in on just staying in shape, this is a good time, JP, that we can look at these student athletes instead of working out for competition. Let's work out for making sure our bodies are healthy and our minds are healthy. And that should be the focus. But what I like to say to those student athletes is we are not giving up. We are going to continue to make sure that sports will work in the 2021 school year, and we will play again, New Mexico.